I am here in Dubai driving Nissan's SUVs, and the most important of them is of course this car, the Kicks, because it is coming to the Indian market in early 2019. Yes, this car has a lot riding on it for Nissan India, but does it impress? Well, to start off with, I'm not going to talk much about the design language because Nissan says that it will make a lot of changes to the India spec model. For starters, it will be bigger with more presence, and that's something which might actually work with buyers. This particular car does feel impressive in terms of design language, but it's not an SUV in terms of appearance. It's more like a crossover. There are the typical Nissan SUV traits on it, and yes, a lot of chrome treatment as well, which will definitely work with Indian buyers. Step inside and you realize that the interior does look very nice. It's kind of sporty as well because it gets the all black treatment, and this car is equipped with a lot of features. However, the car I'm driving isn't the top spec trim. It is rather the lower trim, which misses out on a lot of essentials like the audio system or the infotainment system. Doesn't have much to offer, but the car which will be launched in India will get an 8-inch touchscreen system with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto connectivity, as well as a reverse parking camera. Yes, ergonomically this car feels very good. The instrument cluster though feels a bit basic for my liking. There are plenty of cubby holes inside this vehicle. The door pockets are large enough. The glove box is also big, and on the center console you have a couple of cup holders as well. The rear seat is very spacious. There's good amount of legroom and kneeroom as well, and under thigh support is also above average. There's good amount of headroom too over here. And yes, this cabin does feel spacious here at the rear seat. In fact, this car has a big boot too, and it can accommodate a lot of luggage. All three headrests are adjustable. This car gets an almost flat floor. The cabin is wide enough, which means 3 people can sit at the rear. Nissan is going to offer a lot of features on the Kicks, which includes a 360-degree parking camera, which will be a segment first. It will also get an LCD display for the instrument cluster, again something which is going to be extremely unique. The Kicks for Dubai is powered by a 1.6-litre petrol engine which outputs 118 horses, but that is not going to be the petrol engine which Nissan will launch in India. In fact, it's going to be the same 1.5-litre unit that outputs 110 horsepower. But the mainstay is obviously going to be the 1.5-litre DCI diesel engine, which also powers a slew of Renault and Nissan cars in India. This one produces 110 horsepower in the higher spec and 85 horses in the lower spec. In its latest iteration, this motor offers good amount of punch, doesn't have much lag either, and the only gripe is that the gearing is a bit on the shorter side. Yes, NVH is decent. It's not the best when you compare it to the Hyundai Creta, but the motor is powerful enough and gives a lot of performance as well as efficiency. The car we're driving in Dubai is underpinned by the Micra platform, and in terms of ride quality, it is not the best. The steering too doesn't offer much feel and feedback, and the handling too isn't that great. But don't make a judgment just yet, because Nissan plans to use underpinnings from the Juke for the Indian model, which means the floor pan as well as the suspension is going to come from the legendary Juke, and the ride and handling balance will definitely transform for the better. We expect the Kicks for India to ride and handle better than the Terrano, which is itself saying something. The braking performance also will be strong because Nissan might just offer all-wheel discs on this vehicle. The Nissan Kicks is actually quite promising, and Nissan India is doing a lot to make it even better. Being India specific with bigger dimensions, more appeal and more features is certainly going to work in its favor. And we feel if this car is priced right in the Indian market, it has what it takes to become an instant hit, considering this car offers a lot what people search for in SUVs, which is presence, space, features, and of course ride and handling balance. And before I end this video, let me talk about the other Nissan cars which are experienced in Dubai, such as the Pathfinder, a great SUV, a mid-size SUV which if launched in India will rival the Toyota Fortuner, but it is not coming. Then there's of course the X-Trail, which was sold in the Indian market and also showcased in hybrid form, which we drove in Delhi about a couple of years ago. Again, a very capable car. But being a soft-roader, it will not find many takers in the Indian market, and they say leave the best for the last, and have done the same today as well, because the flagship SUV from Nissan, the Petrol, was just insane. Firstly, we took it dune bashing and it felt so effortless. You didn't even realize that the car is going in loose sand. It just walked away like it was nothing. And of course, out on the road, we felt the power of that massive V8 engine, the 5.6 litre unit that outputs 400 horses and 560 Newton meters of torque. The Petrol is of course a legend. It has a lot of space, a lot of features, and of course a lot of presence too. But yet again, it's not going to make it to Indian shows because it is available with only a petrol engine, which obviously won't be according to Indian taste, where even with bigger cars, we look for fuel efficiency. So it's time for me to sign off. If you like this video, make sure you give it the thumbs up button, that's the like button.